Hey everyone, welcome back to SecureDApp. As always, this is your host and host Kunal, and today we are back with SecureDApp's LiveLab new episode. So, what is SecureDApp's LiveLab? It is a show where we explore the ideas, technologies, and people that are shaping the future of blockchain. So, before moving further, let me just introduce myself. I'm Kunal Chaudhary, Marketing Associate as well as Community Manager of SecureDApp. With me, I have been joined by Nikhil. So, Nikhil, if you can just give us a short intro, and after that, we can start.
Okay, hi everyone. So I'm a legal expert at SecureDApp, and today we are joined by our uh, Chief Technical Officer of SecureDApp with their flagship product that is SecureX-DID. So it's redefining how digital identity, privacy, and security are managed in decentralized ecosystem. So with deep expertise in blockchain architecture and secure systems, he brings a unique perspective on building trust in the trustless world. So let's dive into the deep into the technology, the challenge, and the future of decentralized identity with our guest today, that is Himanshu Gautam sir. So Kunal, please go ahead. Can you just start asking the question?
Sure. So, Himanshu, my first question is to you that, in simple terms, what core problems does SecureX-DID solve that traditional username, passwords, and KYC system fail to deliver?
Sure. Hi everyone. SecureX TID is a user-controlled, privacy-enabled verification platform. So whenever a user wants to prove any data to any third party, they can use SecureX TID in a safe manner, so they don't have to share the data itself. They can prove the validity of the data using the ZK proof of that data.
Okay.
Okay, so sir, if I use suppose that if I use SecureX DID, so who owns my identity and who decides when it is shared?
Right. So SecureX DID is designed in such a way that the data is uh, controlled by the user itself. So your
Hmm.
data is owned by you,
Hmm.
and it's only stored on your device in an encrypted format. So
Okay, so
whenever you share the ZK or any type of verification of proof to the third party, that particular set of data sets from your data are only encrypted and sent to the third party for verification. And rest all data points are, those are not shared over to the third party. So you just share a particular focus points. So if you want to share your age, that you're above 18 to any third party, any institution, you can just share that info and validate that to a third party.
Mm, fine enough. So, Himanshu, my question is that for a common man, what does proof without exposure mean from a user point of view?
Sure. So, if we take the current scenario right now, there are a lot of misuses of identity, right? There are a lot of fake identities. There are a lot of misuse of identities. Like we have reported, multiple cases where user PAN card is used to open some fake firms, and some transfers of money here and there without his knowledge, right? Bank accounts are opened without the user knowledge. So that's what we call as a misuse of the identities, right? Which user might have shared in the past with anyone, and there from there it got leaked, right?
hmm.
So that is the main problem that Secure XDID solves. It allows user to share and validate their data without sharing in a privacy enabled environment. So their
Hmm.
data is not leaked onto the public or to any third party, and it remains secure with them only.
Got
So,
it.
Himanshu, going ahead with the question, like if I use Secure XDID, suppose, so who owns my data and like how is the Secure XDID different from logging in with Google Aadhaar or other centralized identity providers?
Right. So, who owns your data? As I answered, it would be you only. So your data is not stored on any server or any third party, partner. Your data is only stored with you. So let's say if you want to share your Aadhaar, okay, with any third party, what we do is there's a one-time process where you give consent to SecureX-DID to fetch your Aadhaar from the UIDAI servers. We validate first you with the KYC, and once you have verified your identity, we fetch your identity with your consensus, and then we store that identity on your device. So device at all time has your data. No other server or third party client gets your data. So it's only the user who is in control his data.
Hmm. Okay. So, how does the SecureX
You
DID
are
help
on
Yeah,
mute, I
sure.
think,
organizations?
Kunal.
So I was asking, how does SecureX-DID?
Hmm.
Sorry, can you repeat?
Yeah, I was talking about how does SecureX-DID reduces the risk and impact of data breaches and identity theft.
Right. So how does this reduces that is that uh right now whatever, for example, when you go to buy a SIM, for example, right? You go in there and they ask you for identity for, let's say, Aadhaar or PAN or any other government valid identity, and they do a Xerox of that, okay, to keep the records and all. So at that point you are sharing the whole identity, right? And now they also have the whole data. So that's how SecureX-DID solve it, that you don't have to share your whole document. You just send a ZK proof of the validity that you want to show, right? So if you want to show it's for SIM, you there is some proof. So you just share those valid data points and you send a ZK proof for that to that verified entity, the SIM partner. It might be Geo, Airtel, or any other third party SIM provider. So you share that only validity to them. So your data doesn't come into picture. Okay, it's all encrypted, even if it's the ZK proof, and this prevents us from misuse of your data, your documents to any fake or fraud scams. Yeah.
Okay, so Himanshu, suppose that how does the SecureX DID, help the organizations verify users without collecting or storing sensitive personal data? How does it verify?
Right. So how does it helps the institutions, right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
right now, what's the problem is that there were multiple cases, even with the private players, that they are verifying their user for as per regulations and compliances, and what they are doing is they are keeping users' sensitive details like their ID cards, their Aadhaar, PAN, anything, and there's a risk on their end. Now they, since they store the user sensitive data, there's a risk as at their end, and sometimes their server got hacked, or the credential got leaked or something. In
Hmm.
that manner, what happens is the data get leaked, right? So there were multiple cases in the news where uh, thousands of users data got leaked on dark web, right? uh, so that's the risk with the institution who are dealing with user sensitive data. Okay. Now how does SecureX-DID solve it? So with SecureX-DID you can verify your users, your customers, right? You can verify them, verify their details like address proof, age proof, their graduation certificates, or any kind of document. You can verify that without storing the sensitive data. So what happens is that you ask user for a proof that let's
Hmm.
say your address proof.
Hmm.
User sends the ZK proof of that validity, and that ZK proof is sent to the verifier. So what the institution gets is the limited data about the user. They don't get the number or identity number or anything like that. They just get the ZK proof, and then they verify that ZK proof, and get to know who is the issuer and all. They just verify that identities, and that's it. That's all we do, and there's no sensitive data that institutions have to deal in this process. They don't have to store any user sensitive data, right? So that's how the risk on the institution is also vanished, right? They don't have to deal now. So that issue that's there in the current situation, that is resolved. Yeah.
Got it. So, Himanshu, I was just thinking from a enterprise perspective. So, how does SecureX-DID reduces the compliance burden under DPDP, GDPR, or HIPAA? How does these reduces the compliance burden on them?
Right. So right now, as we are aware, we have a DPDP Act coming in, and other compliances that are coming in. So how SecureX-DID reduces the compliance is that it makes the process a lot easier and lot safer. So the consent management, that's already integrated with our system. So whenever a verifier, the institution in our case, require user to prove any identity, their identity, or any other data point about themselves, they can just request that, and user gives the consent of their data, and in a much safer manner. So they only share selective disclosure of their documents, whatever is required, they just do that, and those data points are only sent to the verifier, and it is how they verified, right? So all the consent management and all the data privacy and data security compliances are handled by the SecureX-DID product in itself. So those are inbuilt features of the product. So institution don't have to handle those things at their end. So this is how the compliances got easier, because they already got their consents handled, which are stored in an immutable way on blockchains, and all those logs are there for audit purpose. And there since consent is handled, and the second thing is data, which is already secured in a much safer manner, encrypted in transit and in rest.
Got it.
Mm. So Himanshu, from the side of the user and like trust and all, so how does the product it improves the trust that, like, in the traditional Indian society, the trust or the privacy doesn't exist like that. So how does it improve the trust between the user and the service provider?
So how the trust is improved? Right. So what happened is that right now, as we are seeing, right? So the main
Mhm.
two issue that are there in the current situation is fake identities, right? So a lot of fake identities are revolving of user. So what
Mhm.
these scammers do, they may take any of your document and just replace the name or photo and then reuse those identity. And the second issue is misuse of identities, right? So they can take your identities, as we discussed earlier. They may take your PAN card and start a firm with it, or uh, uh, open a bank account with it, or any type of financial fraud they can do with that, right? So that's the gap right now there in the market. So uh, that's how secured XDID comes, and increase the trust, because now the data handling is done by the SecureX-DID. User don't have to give their physical identity, physical cards to the verifier, and trust the verifier to handle their identity carefully, right? Store their data carefully in whatever manner they are doing it. So that's how the trust between the user and the verifiers is a lot better with SecureX-DID, because now they don't have to rely on each other, right? It's a trust is coming through the infrastructure that the SecureX-DID is bringing in, right? So that's how it solve and increase the trust between both the parties.
Fair enough. So, Himanshu, my question is that today we all know that we are very fast forward. We don't want to wait for something or something like that. So, how SecureX-DID improve the onboarding speed and overall user experience for all digital platforms?
Right. So right now, there are a lot of in the independent KYC that you have to do. Right. You have to integrate. Institution have to integrate with different KYC providers for third party verifications. they a lot of, in the let's say if we take example of job market, right? So for verification, companies have to approach different players, and then they approach different institutions, education institution, to verify all that. And there lot of data is, transferred between multiple intermediaries, middlemen, and lot of safety concerns are there, right? So what happened is SecureX-DID solved that issue by uh, bringing in the trust factor, right? Can you repeat your question again?
So I was just asking, what is the digital how is the overall user experience for digital platforms, and how
Right.
can we improve the onboarding speed?
Right. So right now, what happened is that you have to, carry all the physical documents, right, with you, and even if you have it in your digitized format in different online platforms, you have to manage that, uh, and you have to check out what permissions you have given to whom. Okay, so those all things are taken care by SecureX-DID. So you don't know whom you have given the read-only permission, or with whom you have shared your, digital credentials with. You don't know after 3 months whom you have given the consent to for your Aadhaar or for your PAN, or how many parties you have given consent to for your Aadhaar and PAN. So that's all
Mhm.
thing are resolved in, solved by the SecureX-DID. So it's a one platform where you can manage all your digital certificates, all your, college degree and certificates, your PAN, Aadhaar, and whatever certificates you have, identities you have, you can just manage on a single platform. You can check whom you have shared with them on for how much validity, what for what purpose. So all these details you can just see on a single interface, right? And you can even revoke the consent that you have given if you don't want them to, keeping your data. You can just clear all those data, and you can, give revoke your consent anytime to any of the third party institution. So that's how secure XDID improve the user experience. They don't have to, complicate all these handling data handling and all. They can just, on one interface they can handle all their documents with safely and, with security. Yeah.
Got it.
So my question from you is that in the real world use case, right? In the cases like education or travel or finance and government certificate. So where does the SecureX DID create the most amount of value? Like what in which area like it is it will create a very huge impact. What do you think?
Right. So SecureX DAD is, applicable in all those scenarios where you have to, user has to share his documents, right? And
Hmm.
it's create more value where the documents are more sensitive. So higher the
Hmm.
sensitivity of the data that user is sharing, the adoption of SecureX DID is of much importance, right? So if we talk about creation of bank accounts for finances, if you go to any take help of any schemes, government services, you have to show your different IDs and all, right? And if you are, so the most sensitive right now are like PAN and Aadhaar, which can be misused, right? So wherever those documents are used, there the SecureX DID applicability is, of much more importance, right? So that's where we need to, add these implementation in the, first phase. So all the financial that we do verification and all, so those has to be handled safely. So the more the sensitivity of the document that we are handling, the more, impact it makes in the market.
Hmm.
Fair enough. So, Himanshu, I was just thinking about the real world cases. We often give our Aadhaar card or PAN card for verification purpose in hotels, right? So, how can hotel guests benefit from the SecureX DID during identity verification uh, and check-in? And will it cost them a huge amount or something like that? Or just that they have to just go into the app and do it?
Right. So right now, yeah. So under compliances, all hotels, management has to keep user documents, right? Whoever logs and their registers and all with the copy of the user identity. So to go with the compliances, they have to keep user documents, and uh, in most cases user provide their PAN or Aadhaar, right, which are the most sensitive documents right now. And what happens is that those IDs get accumulated in wrong hands from multiple places, because there are a lot of loopholes. Where does those all Xerox go, right, at the end? But they
Absolutely.
are not safely disposed, right? So those all get ended up in bad and hands, and then they are misused, right? So that's where a solution like SecureX-DID can help a lot, because verifying the user identity can be done much safer. The cost wise, it's very minimal. It's nothing. It's negligible cost wise. There's no high cost on verification, right? All the APIs and all the integrations are free of cost, and user can go with that safely and verify the identity.
Hmm.
Got it.
So, Himanshu, like in what ways the SecureX DID is different from other identity initiatives like the DigiYatra or any other products that the government is using?
Right. So DigiYatra is a closed ecosystem solution that is
Hmm.
right now applicable for airport infrastructure. So for authentication of identity verification for just the airport infra, right? SecureX DID is valid for uh, the whole ecosystem, right? From your education to your health, to your employability and everywhere. So all the domains, if we talk about SecureX DID is valid there. So DigiYatra just prove through your facial liveliness and scan that it proves it, but it's a closed ecosystem. Right now, different domains like as we just talked about the hotels, the education system, those cannot use DigiYatra just like that, right? So what we need is a safer way to share data with any third party, and that's where SecureX DID comes into picture, I think. Yeah.
Got it. Himanshu, we were talking about DigiYatra. So we also have DigiLocker. So why DigiLocker is alone not sufficient for privacy for first identity verification at this scale?
Right. So DigiLocker does allows you, to get your documents, store your documents. But when you give someone access to your documents, they get the whole document. So that thing is still there, that the whole document is shared with the third party, and they can misuse it, right? So is what SecureX DID, how different it is that it just take the selective disclosure. So you can just disclose the particular fields that you have to prove to the third party using the ZK proofs. So you don't have to expose all your data with a third party.
Got it.
Hmm.
You mean to say that if someone is asked, if someone is verifying that if I am 18 plus or not, they will just get that, yes, he is 18 plus and
Right,
nothing. No,
right, right,
not my name, not my address, nothing else, right?
right. Nothing else. So it's based on selective disclosure that you can validate,
Absolutely.
and that's it. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so in the previous question, like sir, you mentioned that uh, it is uh, it is useful for all the like education and everything. So suppose that a university or a college wants to adopt secured XDID, like for issuing credentials and all. So how much time does it typically take them for such a thing, or from the your side, how much time it will take?
Right. So for institutions, education institution to be particular,
Hmm.
to release and or publish their certificates and degrees onto the platform, it hardly takes less than a week to integrate with our infra. And once it would be a one-time process, and once done, they can easily release all the certificates and degrees of students with just hand of a in like 5 to 10 minutes. That's it. That's all it takes to release those on platform, and then you students can access it anytime using the app. And it cuts a lot of manual process, to do all request and then complete the request on manual basis.
Hmm.
Himanshu, being more specific, how is SecureX-DID priced for institution and enterprises? If you want, you can disclose this.
Right. So right now we are going on case by case basis. So we usually charge on a how the number of degrees that we are handling, because the degree once enter our system, it's stored immutably through blockchain and IPFS systems. So those are stored immutably. So college and universities don't have to maintain it anywhere, right? So those are immutable records that are created for them. So those are based on the number of degrees that are stored with us, and what's the set of degrees and how many degrees uploads they are taking. So it's based on that factor on a case by case basis.
Okay. So what if I am issuing 100 degrees? So how much, for example, I am a university, how much will it cost to me?
So if you're going on with the 100 degrees, it would be costing you around 1000 to 2000, and that would be the case right now.
Yeah, that's a bearable amount, I think.
Right, right, yeah. And if you go into bulk amounts, it even lesser. So, handling it on the servers yourself in a risky manner, and which handling all the requests manually to, cater to student requests and all that is much harder to handle and complicate resource-wise as well.
Absolutely. Got it.
So, Himanshu, like, will the students will be able to securely access and share their academic credential using that product, right? Like, it has to be secure as well. Like, if the college
Right.
authenticates it, yeah.
Security. Right. Security is the primary thing that we handle. So all the degrees are stored in an encrypted format, and
Hmm.
user can only fetch their degrees through the SecureX-DID app. So the data only lies with the student device that they can access, right? And they can then share it to verify their graduation or their any data into third party that they want.
Hmm.
Got it. So how does SecureDAX DID help maintain long-term trust in digital credentials such as degrees and certificates that we are talking about right now?
Right. So what happens that we store the degrees on blockchain, so they become immutable. Okay, and it lot safer than storing it on a cloud server, or even if you have store it on multiple servers and have a replication factor to increases safety. So that's what we handle. And then there are centralization risks that are there in the cloud providers that are to be also taken care of. So that's how when we come into picture, we make those certificate immutable. Those are decentralized, stored on blockchain with encrypted access to only few access providers.
Fair enough.
Okay, so uh, hi. So suppose that Himanshu, like when I'm going to use some product, so that this securized DID will have to be shared with each time when I log in each platform, or it will be a single time thing. Uh, like what I'm asking is that can it be used in across multiple platforms without creating new accounts each time, or will have to create new account each time whenever we try to use that product?
No, so it would be a one-time thing. So
Hmm.
you have to fetch your degree. If the
Hmm.
college has, published the degree,
Yeah.
it would be a one-time thing that you fetch it. Then it would be on your mobile. So unless you reset your phone or anything,
Hmm.
it would remain in your phone in encrypted format, and then you can share with any third party with whatever request or verification type of there. So you can share your documents with the third party in single request. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
so
so how does SecureX-DID support users who interact with many services across different industries? We were talking about degrees and hotels, but for example, if a person is interacting with many services across different industry, how will SecureX-DID support them?
Right. So we have a particular stakeholders which are verifiers, the third party like hotels or employers who wants to verify user data, and we have a separate accounts for them. So whenever any domain verifier wants to raise a request against your account to view like address proof or age proof, you will get all the details regarding the verifier as well, that this and this hotel or this and this employer wants to verify or this and this credential. So then you have to either approve or reject that request.
Okay, it's
mm,
almost like a credit card approve, right? When we
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
got it.
okay, so Himanshu, is the SecureX DID suitable for the regulated sector, like such as banking, education, and government services? Like I'm asking about the legal compliance here. You understand that?
Right. So I think it's perfect for the scenario because it handles
Mm,
the consent management as well for users. So
mm,
right now, there's no consent management. It's coming up with the new regulations and all, but it's
mm.
already inbuilt in SecureX DID. So I think it's more than it's around perfect to be handled in those cases where all the sensitive data has to be handled between users and the verifiers.
Okay, so what you are trying to say is that the product is built in such a way that it is compliant with DPDP and the consent management system, right? So between the data
Right.
fiduciary
Yeah.
and the data principal, the the
Right.
customer, that is the data principal who is in the control, right? So that's good to hear.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So, Himanshu, how does SecureX DID supports privacy by design and zero trust principles, uh, particularly at the business level?
Okay, so at the business level, what happens is that the user data remains private, right? So first of all, the private institution, don't get the user documents, right? In full disclosed format. They get what is the proof, and using that proof, they can validate that, and they can recheck that it's the original document that is issued by authority, right? So that's how the data remains secure even with the private institutions verification.
Got it.
Mm. Okay, so in terms of business level, can the secure XDID also support large scale or national level digital identity initiatives like talked about the Digi Yatra, the
Right,
then the
right,
Aadhaar
definitely,
card and
yeah. So it can handle the framework is such that it's
hmm,
highly scalable. So
okay,
uh, uh, right, so it's easily scalable to all the sectors, all the domains, be it financial, education, or government schemes, or verification of for any third party,
hmm.
employment sector and all other sectors. So it's directly compliant and applicable to all those sector and scalable to each domain. Yeah.
Okay, Himanshu, just following up to this question, how does SecureX DID enable identity verification across borders and across the jurisdiction all over the world?
Right. So what happens is that if you have an identity, and there are set of the issuer authorities, right? So even if you go cross country, cross border, if you have the authorities identified, and those are visible in public domains, you can anytime verify those document that who has verified it using their ZK proof. You get to know that these are the issuing authorities from those sector and from those domain. So if you talk about degrees issued by a particular institution, right? So you can verify that by using their signatures, that it's been signed by those authorities.
Okay, so it'll say in terms, so for that you'll have to build a like very big will have to be a very big infrastructure and all. So how does that SecureX-DID plays the role here? Like what does it play in strengthening the role of digital public infrastructure that we talked about?
Right. We already have a scaled infra, so we can
Hmm.
already cater to multiple domain, multiple sector easily,
Okay.
and yeah, so it makes the whole public, data infra lot safer, lot secure than the current state. So yeah, I think it would be a very useful thing adopted in more and more sectors.
Okay. So, how does SecureX DID align with the global identity and privacy standards without locking users into a single ecosystem?
Right, because it's not you know uh, not related to a particular domain, right? So it's open to all domains, and you can use it for cross domain verification as well, right? So can easily integrate with any private player who wants to verify any type of user data. It can be sensitive data, or it can be non-sensitive data, like user certificates from schools and all. So so yeah, so that's why it makes it, highly uh, compliant with all the domains. And yeah.
And
Got it.
Himanshu, like just we talked about the DPDP and all the personal data protection. So how does the product it remains relevant in these changing regulations? Like there are user expectations, hackers are getting more and more advanced. Okay, so there are a lot of frauds these days. So how does this product stays relevant in this particular innovating sector that we are right now in? And with the regulation, how does it keep up with the regulations as well?
Right. It's designed with those thing in mind. So what are the current challenges in the current market situation?
Mm.
So the main problem that we solve is the misuse of identities and use of fake identities. So that's what it's solved and designed for, the future in mind. And we already have integrated all those compliance requirement like DPDP and all. So those are already integrated with in our product in the current state only. So we are already compliant with the future in mind, and with the current challenges to solve those, we are already, inbuilt those solution in our product.
Okay.
Got it. So, Himanshu, one last question from my side. So, what new digital experiences become possible when individuals truly control their identity, and from where a person can get SecureX DID? Is it available in Play Store, or we have to go to Google or something like that?
Yeah, so it's available in both Play Store and App Store, or we can just get it from there. And yeah, so it changes a lot of thing about the user experience and user control over their data. So right now, user are not aware their, data is shared, how many institution have their data. Okay. What are the use of their data, where and when these his identities are used, right? So your user right now are not in control, but with SecureX DID they get the control. Okay, and they are aware of all the changes and all the usage of their identity, right? Any form of identity, they get aware around them, and they get empowered in a sense. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so the last question is from me, Himanshu. So we just talk about how great the product is, how it is building the digital public infrastructure, how is it helping the users become more secure, manage their consent, and all those initiatives. So my last question is, how does you see your product in this particular infrastructure? Like how it is contributing to the more secure, privacy first, and user-centric digital ecosystem. What are your views on that with your flagship product?
Oh, right. So, how does I view my product? It's very important right now to adopt
Mm.
this into multiple domain. We are already partnered with multiple education institution. So I think this will bringing lot of changes, positive changes in the ecosystem, how we handle identities, how we handle documents, how we verify documents, and how the data is shared among different parties. So this will changes the ways in a lot better than right now, how data is handled by all the parties, and give a lot of power in the hand of individual to share it or not share it, revoke the consent from the third parties, and to know what data is lying with which party and all. So I think yeah, it will make the ecosystem much safer and much aware. Yeah.
Absolutely. Any final words from yours and Himanshu for our viewers?
I think it's a lot better tech that we should adopt, and we should start looking into it. And if you are using any user consent, any user verification, or any user data, you should see it, at least try it on how you can use this safer tech in your platform. Okay. And yeah, and this would be a much better experience for all the users and citizens. Yeah.
Absolutely, Himanshu. Thank you so much for tuning in. It was a pleasure
Thanks,
to
guys.
have you here. So, guys, this was CTO of SecureDApp. I think he has answered all the questions, all the doubts that
Yeah.
we have in our mind regarding to SecureX-DID. Thanks to Nikhil for joining in as well. We'll be taking a leave from here, guys. I hope you like this video. If you did so, please hit the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Secured App, follow our page, Instagram handle, and as well as Telegram page at Secured App. We will be definitely seeing you next time. But till then, stay safe, stay secure, and as always, I say, stay ahead. Thank you, Nikhil. Thank you, Himanshu, for
Thanks,
tuning
guys.
in.
Thank you, Kunal.